Now let's do another side dish for WBIR Friendsgiving. This is something that my mom made a lot when we were growing up, not only for holidays, but also just for dinner sometimes. It's basically a twist on mashed potatoes, twice baked with a little surprise on top. So all I did was basically chop up a pound and peel them, of course, of a 5-pound bag of potatoes. Then I boiled them, and you want to get them fork tender. Now I'm going to put them into a mixing bowl. And all right, folks, don't come at me with this one. I know if you want really smooth mashed potatoes, you do not use a mixer. They can get gummy, but there's a reason we're going to do this. Number one, it's what my mom used to do. So I'm going to put as many of these in here as I can. And talking about getting those smooth mashed potatoes, you want to do either a food mill or a potato ricer. That's going to get the best potatoes for you. But again, this is what my mom did because it was easy. So that's what we're doing today. To this, we were going to add an entire stick of butter. We did not say this was healthy, folks. It's Thanksgiving. Calories don't count, right? So in we go with that. It wants to escape on me. Thankfully, I had it softening. That will help. And obviously, you want to do this right when your potatoes are getting right off of the stove because you want it to be warm and melty in there. Then we're going to add in a little tub of that cream cheese with onion and chive because we're going to add a little spice to this. So I'm going to put in the entire thing. Again, we're not going for health here, folks. Put it all in. This is good. This is an indulgent dish. Put it in there. You barely have enough room to mix it up after this. The last thing I'm going to do before we get it mixing is put in salt and pepper. And we know that potatoes need a lot of salt, so I'm going to put a lot on here. You can always add more later, but this is the way to get it all mixed up in there. So lots of salt, and I love pepper, so I'm putting in some pepper too. You could leave this out if you're Cassie Doll and you don't like pepper. Okay, now that I have that in there, I'm going to put it onto my mixer bowl. Oh, I see I got potatoes escaping everywhere. Then we're going to get this going. And basically, you want to mix it up until it's as smooth as you can get it. But again, folks, it's still going to be a little lumpy. That's okay. This is a homemade potato dish. If you wanted to get smooth, you could use, again, that food mill or potato ricer. So I'm going to smooth this out and then move on to the final step. And to get this even a little smoother and creamier, you can also add in either some milk, but my mom used heavy whipping cream. So we're gonna put some of that in. And I said, Mom, how much do we use? And she goes, oh, I don't know, as much as you need. I don't know what that means, but as much as you see fit. Now be careful if you're doing this because it's gonna be really hot because those potatoes are very hot. This bowl is going to be hot. And then you have a 13×9 baking dish. I've taken a stick of butter and buttered it, and now we're just going to pour it in. And then we're going to bake it at 350 degrees. All right, that little piece of butter, that stick of butter that I used to butter the pan, I'm going to make use of it again by chopping it up into little pats of butter because, again, you can't have too much butter on this dish. Now we're just going to spread it around so that it gets all nice and melty and gooey in the oven. There we go. And then the final thing we're gonna put on top, this is what makes it a little unique, this little bag of slivered almonds. And I think, I looked it up, there's a dish called potatoes almondine that I think maybe this stems from, but this is what my mom used to do. And we're just gonna sprinkle these all on top, if I can get this open a little bit. And use as much or as little as you like. This just gives it a little crunch as well, and they get a little brown in the oven. And again, I mentioned I have got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. You're gonna put in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. It'll get a little golden brown on top and then even creamier inside. And these almonds will get a little brown as well. I put quite a few on there. So this is what it looks like before you put it in the oven. As far as what it looks like when it comes out of the oven, well, let me go grab it. There is our final dish. I know it's in a bigger dish where you can see it's a little golden brown on top and the almonds got a little toasted. So hopefully you can make this for your Thanksgiving. We're back with another sweet treat for our WBIR Friendsgiving. Excited about this one as well. This sounds like it's a family staple. Ellis is joining us now to tell us about it.
Yes, so we are making my family's favorite apple crisp. My mom makes this for every birthday, holiday, hostess gift, anytime. This is the original recipe that I think has gone through a lot. Yeah. There's some cat drawings on there, but it's actually pretty simple, and I like to think that it's pretty healthy. There's only a little bit of flour and sugar in there. So we start off with tart cooking apples. So my
Granny
mom,
Smith?
Yep, my mom likes to use Granny Smith. We already have some ready, but I will show y'all. My mom calls this a whirly bird. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but it essentially kind of suction cups to the counter. You don't need this. It just makes the process a lot easier. And you just kind of stick the apple on there. You can get these on Amazon for like 15 bucks.
And then it looks so fun to use.
It's very fun to use. Brittany, if you want to come over here and give it a try.
If I can do it, anyone can do it. All right, I'll give it a little twist. So you just twist it like this.
And then the peel just comes right off.
That's so great. And it's also slicing it at the same time.
It slices it and peels it at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
So
I don't know, do you do it all the way to the end?
Yep, keep going all the way to the end until this portion right there.
Woo.
Yep. So we do that.
Well, I know what I'm adding to my Amazon cart later tonight.
Then it cores it too.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Yes. So what we'll do, we have some ready over here. Brittany, if you want to just cut that in half.
Just in half? Yep. Can do. And then put them right in here.
Right. Yep. So we are just going to do 3.5 tablespoons of white sugar. So we'll grab that over here.
Scooch it over.
Yep. And we'll just put that in with these apples. Like I said, it's really not a lot of sugar.
Yeah, really. I mean, a lot of recipes you're doing a cup of sugar.
Right. Like this is pretty simple. So that's 3.5.
Okay.
And then it calls for 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, which is about a half a lemon. If we can get that in there.
So this requires some arm strength if you're making this recipe, apparently. Thankfully, Ellis is doing this for us. So half a lemon juice in there. That also keeps, it'll add some tang, but also if you do that first, you can keep the apples from browning as well.
Yes, exactly. You can just, the lemon and the sugar in there along with the tart apples, it's just, it's perfect. You can see that whirly bird made, just a perfect,
I am so impressed with that.
It cuts them perfectly.
Love it.
And again, you don't need that. You can, just peel the apples and cut them as you normally would, but it does make it a lot faster when you're using a lot of apples. Okay, so the next step is the topping. That's the crisp part of this recipe. So we're gonna do 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. I'll give that to you.
If you want to just put
it in that bowl.
I got a bowl over here. Okay,
and then we're gonna do 1 cup of rolled oats.
Now this is what you think of when you think of apple crisp on the top. My grandma used to make apple crisp as well, so.
It's so good.
Love this.
It's a favorite. Okay, and then 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So that's all the sugar that we're gonna be using.
And speaking of being healthy, you're also using organic light brown sugar. So, I mean, Ellis is really going to town on the healthy part of this.
I do what I can. I do what I can. Okay, so 1/2 cup of brown sugar in there.
I'm gonna start stirring this up.
And
I love being a sous chef here.
And then we will also do just a little bit of cinnamon. Let's see here. It's a teaspoon of cinnamon. Great. So I'll go ahead and just kind of eyeball that.
Smells like the holidays.
And then the next step, this kind of also adds to the crisp topping. You can see here on the recipe the many iterations that this recipe has gone through. At first it was walnuts, then slivered almonds, then crossed out, then chopped pecans. So you can do whatever you want. My family's favorite is chopped pecans.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll add those in there.
It looks like about 1/2 cup, or is it a cup?
It's 1.5 cups.
Oh, 1.5 cups, okay.
1.5 cups of chopped pecans, and then we'll just do a tiny bit of salt, 1/2 teaspoon.
And people probably know this, but anytime you're making something sweet, you always want salt as well.
Right. And again, we'll just kind of like a healthy pinch in there.
Yes.
We'll do that. And then the next step, we're almost done. So now to kind of bring all of those ingredients together, we're just gonna do 1/2 cup of melted butter and stir that in there.
And this will get really crumbly.
Yep.
And then, are you putting the apples in our buttered pan here?
Yes.
I can scooch this over for you.
Yes. So we have just a buttered Pyrex dish here, and we'll kind of layer those apples in there.
And I can help you spread it out with this.
Awesome.
I was trying to make sure I got it all mixed up, but we can probably cheat it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to let you make sure that you get those
Okay.
exactly how you want them.
So you just want them as even as possible so they cook evenly.
Right.
Try to get them spaced out all the way to the edge. And then we just go ahead, and Brittany, if you want to hold that and I'll scoop it out, we just pour this topping right over it, which smells amazing.
It's delish.
And again, just try to coat it as evenly as possible. So what you would do is you would bake this in a 375-degree oven for about 35 minutes. You'll just kind of see it turn golden brown and the apples will start to bubble. Ooh. So there's our finished product. We'll tilt it up. It's nice and golden brown, nice and warm. And then my favorite way to eat this is either with, and I brought
Whoa,
my favorite ice cream,
done.
which I think you'll like, Brittany. It's Ice Cream for Bears. That's the brand.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
So that's what I love to serve it with, or my mom will do like a homemade whipped cream, which is incredible as well.
Sounds fantastic.
So, yes.
Ellis's
so there we go.
family recipe for the apple crisp.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully
you can add it to your table. We have just a few more recipes for our Friendsgiving, including the star of the dinner table, the turkey. We'll show you why the prep is just as important as the actual day of cooking. Plus, one producer makes her family's dressin' a Southern staple, and Katie Inman makes a cake they call ugly, but trust us, it's a beautiful thing.